But supposedly that there's some sort of curse that was put on his family because he had taught outsiders, and that curse had extended down supposedly to his son Brandon. Now, if you don't remember Brandon Lee, again, the son of Bruce Lee, was an up-and-coming actor. He had done like small bit parts in the 80s, and then like supporting roles like Showdown in Little Tokyo with Dolph Lundgren in like 1980. He finally got to the main role, the lead role, with the film Action Rapid Fire, which came out, I believe, 1992, which was a modest hit. He then ended up signing up to do a film called The Crow, which is based on a comic book, independent comic book of the same name, and he ended up dying on the set from a tragic accident while filming The Crow. Supposedly, it also went down because of this curse that was put on by his father. Also went down to Brandon. Let me talk about a little about the night Brandon passed away. Bring it up.
No, very, well aware of how Brandon died. Just because of the legend of the movie that was being filmed at the time of his passing, and how he passed away is a story that continues to get told.
Yeah.
No, I'm just sort of listening along to you describing the connection.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Let me get this. Again, Brandon was filming The Crow. It was filmed in Wilmington, North Carolina. They were filming the scene. They were pretty much almost done with filming principal photography. They were about to go into post production. Brandon was a little eager and wanted to hurry up and finish because he wanted to leave because he was about to get married to his fiancée Elijah Hudson. But the crew, the props crew had a problem. They had run out of blanks to fire for a gun. His scene was the character that Brandon was playing was going to get shot and die in that scene, and then later they already filmed the scenes of him being resurrected as the with the powers of the Crow. So they were filming the scene which he was walking into his apartment and seeing his film girlfriend being attacked, and he ends up getting shot. But the prop crew had run out of blanks. So what one of the prop masters ends up doing is going to a gun shop, and ended up picking up live rounds. Now, dummy rounds and live rounds, I don't know too much about how bullets work, but you could tell a dummy round from a live round. So, but what this prop master had done, because they run out of dummy rounds, was end up removing the gunpowder, taking off from the live round, taking out the gunpowder from the live round, and then which the gunpowder was the primer. You shoot the gun, the primer goes off, ignites the gunpowder, moves the bullet to where you're pointing it. So they removed the gunpowder, but left the primer on. They put the bullet back in, and then that's how they were trying to make dummy rounds. That's not how you make dummy rounds. It's something entirely different. But this is what I got from the story. So they ended up making these live rounds into what they think is dummy rounds, and pretty much leave the primer on. So they test fired it, and nothing happened. Well, nothing happened. Then they test fired it again, and the gun went off, but no bullet came out. But what had happened was, so they ended up recycling the chamber, pulling out the bullet, and they were like, "Oh, okay, the dummy, like these rounds work." But what had happened was, the actual bullet got stuck into the chamber. But finally, they were able to get real dummy rounds, and they ended up loading up into the chamber. So they ended up giving to the actor that was supposed to shoot Brandon Lee when he enters the apartment for that day. This is a couple of days later. So they ended up loading up the dummy rounds, the real dummy rounds they got from Hollywood, and they film the scene, and the dummy round goes off. And what had happened was, because the real bullet, the previous bullet, was stuck in the chamber, by using the dummy round, which works totally different than just pouring out the gunpowder of a real bullet, gets a chain reaction where that bullet becomes live. And that bullet pushes out like it's an actual live round, and it's up striking Brandon in the abdomen. And he falls over, and the record gets cut. That was a great take, and Brandon doesn't move. And now everyone at first didn't really worry about it because Brandon occasionally played practical jokes on people. But he didn't move, and then all of a sudden they start seeing blood. And they're like, oh shit. So they hurry up, rush into the hospital, and they put him through hours of surgery, but they couldn't end up saving him. He ends up dying from it. The guy, the actor who shot Brandon, totally not his fault, never got over it.
You just like go to work one day to act, and then you end up killing somebody.
Mm-hmm. He never got over it. He ended up, I think he died of either cancer or committed suicide. I'm really not sure. Hold on, let me look it up. But he ended up passing away recently, like a couple of years ago.
Wild story. So he died at the hospital then.
Yeah, he died at the hospital. Yeah. No, that's not him. Fun boy. The guy Michael Massey was the actor's name. He never really
recovered from that incident.
Got over it. No, he died. He ended up dying of stomach cancer 5 years ago. Yeah, but he never really got over it, and you could tell. Like people could tell, like he had changed, man. Like he gave an interview in 2005, and he revealed that he still had nightmares about it. Like, and he said, "I don't think that you'll ever get over something like that." And he was like an established actor himself. He was in Tales from the Hood. He was in HBO's Carnival. He was in Amazing Spider-Man. And Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah, but it's tragic all around. But his death, Brandon's death, ended up making changes to how they store and operate weapons on movie sets, because some of those weapons are real that they use in movie sets. They're just using dummy rounds because they want the sound effect. But there's a lot of changes after that. But supposedly there's a curse placed on his family.
Again, going back to what is the source of the alleged curse? Obviously a tragic passing for both father and son. But where does the curse come from?
His father teaching non-native Chinese the martial arts.
So the thought is that he was appropriating Chinese culture.
No, that he was teaching Westerners, particularly non-Chinese, their arts, their martial arts, when it was forbidden to do.
I see.
That's where the curse comes from.
Yeah, I mean, sure, that's an idea. I don't know. That just seems like maybe sort of attacking his success as the at the time the most successful Asian American celebrity, artist, actor, whatever you want to call him. But yeah, okay. What do you think?
It makes no sense. Okay, first of all, you have two accidents. You have Bruce Lee have an allergic reaction to a painkiller and passing away, and his son passing away because of a movie set prop fuck up. Okay, you got those two. There's no way there's some sort of curse or some sort of triads are going in there fucking with people, poisoning their father and fucking up the waiting years until a son, like making sure like his son is going to be a major Hollywood star, and he's going to do a movie which he has to he gets shot by a gun. Mind you, that he could have become a fucking chef, a school teacher, and like at the time, Brandon was trying to move away. Him doing The Crow was him trying to move away from his father's legacy, because Brandon had said in like interviews during his life that he didn't want to be the redo of his father. He wanted to be his own guy. He wanted to be his own man in films. Like he did Rapid Fire and Showdown in Little Tokyo and Kung Fu the movie and all that stuff, because he was trying to get his foot into Hollywood, and those were the only roles he was getting. He did The Crow because The Crow was something different. Yeah, there's action and shit, but it's not a bunch of shit he's doing martial arts. Because you look at the movie, he's hardly doing any martial arts. Actually, I don't think he's doing martial arts at all.
Yeah.
For that fact. Like he's trying to do something different. He's trying to not be his father. Like he gives like an analogy, like he's at like one story, he's at a casting call and he's talking with his casting director, and they have his headshot in front of them. And on the back of the headshot says Bruce Lee's son. And the casting director turns around and goes, "Oh, wow." And Brandon was like he says, like, he didn't say it to the casting director, but he said it as that's an equivalent of me coming into the room with a female casting director and saying nice tits. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're not looking at him because you're looking at him because he's Bruce Lee's son, not because he might have the talent to be in this film. He just happens to be the son of Bruce Lee.
But he's talented in his own right, regardless of association with his father.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like supposedly this curse waited years for him to do this film, and all this shit happens just to kill him.
Nope, nothing there.
Yeah. It's literally ludicrous. You had two accidents that happened, and not only that, why would you put a curse on a guy that is breaking racial stereotypes that people in Hollywood and also in this country, which is still going on, he's breaking those stereotypes.
You're talking about Brandon, or yeah, Bruce.
He's breaking Bruce Lee. He's breaking these stereotypes. Like, people want to learn this art. People idolize it. Like, fucking how many rap songs, hip hop songs you heard talking about Bruce Lee and martial arts? Hell,
yeah, exactly. And like I said earlier, just the amount of inspirational quotes, whether or not Bruce Lee said them, but that's attributed to Bruce Lee. Yeah, his impact is definitely 30, 40 years later still being felt.
I mean, you have like, I'm not really a fan of mixed martial arts or the UFC, but the president of the UFC, Dana White, coming out and saying that if it wasn't for Bruce Lee, there would be no mixed martial arts. Like, his philosophies and the way he moves translate not only to mixed martial arts and martial arts, but also to boxing. Sugar Ray Leonard, he comes up, he says, I learned how to jab from watching Bruce Lee. The way he moves is influencing dancers. The way he moves influences in the NBA. Like Seth Curry is like I used